Hey everyone, welcome to the free Get Started Podcasting YouTube course. My name is Robert Garza. You're going to see these videos in front of all the modules, urging you to watch the channel trailer first. That way you have a really good idea of who I am, what the course is all about, when the course was recorded, why I have a scraggly beard in the course versus how it looks now. And if you like the videos, make sure you like the videos. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. And most importantly, let me know in the comments what the name of your podcast is, what podcast I'm helping you start or that you maybe just started and this course is helping you finish. If you have any questions, shoot me a DM on Instagram at RobGTV. If the videos refer to any links for equipment or suggestions for software, they will be in the description as well. Let's have some fun, and I'll see you back here on the channel regularly every week. All right, everybody, you've done it. You've officially gone through all the steps required to set up and publish your podcast. The last step is going to actually be to submit the podcast to iTunes for starters. We're actually going to go through Spotify as well because you can do that through Libsyn, and then explain how Google Podcasts works. So let's dive into iTunes first. So for this, I'm going to put the link below, but you're going to go to itunespartner.apple.com/podcast. Now, if you don't have an iTunes account or any kind of Apple account because you use Android or you just don't use iTunes, go ahead and sign up for one. If you have one, just go ahead and sign in. Now that's going to take you inside of iTunes Connect, which is where you're going to submit your podcast. You can see I've blurred out some of the past shows that I've worked on. It's not important. But what we're going to do here is just going to hit the plus sign. And we're going to paste that RSS feed that we got from Libsyn, remember? You're going to paste it there. You're going to validate it. This one's already been validated, so that's probably the response I'm going to get. Can't submit your feed. Your feed was previously submitted. So here basically is what yours would look like once you've submitted it. Once you hit validate, it's going to pop up. It's going to populate your artwork, the title, it's episodic, the category, the language, media is obviously audio, explicit, yes, description, and then the link from Libsyn, all attached to that RSS feed. If anything here is off, it's going to tell you. If you didn't put the author name or if you didn't put a title or anything specific that they're requiring you to put in, go back into Libsyn into your show settings, put it in, come back and just revalidate it, and you're good to go. Now it's going to take about a week, like I said, anywhere from a week to 2 week process, depending on how fast or slow or how things are over at iTunes or Apple. And then they'll send you an email, send you a link with your iTunes link basically in there for your podcast, and you'll start seeing it pop up in the podcast app. After that, you're pretty much good to go. You can start submitting it to other directories like Spotify. That I'll show you actually in a second. We do within Libsyn. Let's just go ahead and do that now. So we're back in our destinations tab. Here's where the RSS feed is, by the way, if you forgot where it was. You're going to hit add destination here, and you're going to get a list of destinations where you can publish your podcast. You can go through these later, like iHeart requires you to have your podcast up for 2 months before you can submit it to iHeart. But if you have it in iTunes, if you have it in Spotify, and it gets put up on Google Podcasts, that is literally over 90, maybe like 98% of podcast listeners on those three platforms. Now, I already have Spotify on there, so I don't have it as add a new one, but it's down here. And when you have it, you'll have a little window that pops up after you've added it. Here, I'll just go to edit so you can see. And all you really have to do is read this, make sure that you don't have any music. Spotify and iTunes also don't want you to have any copywritten music. If you do have music, make sure it's royalty free. Make sure that you have the cover art, the artwork. It tells you 1400 by 1400 minimum, but we're all shooting for 3000 by 3000 because it's better clarity whenever you have to expand or shrink for different, platforms, phones, iPads, screens, TVs even. And that's it. Now, if you click on advanced here, these are all override options that you're just not going to need. You're not going to need to mess with any of these things. So all you have to do is check here. You can approve it. You've read Spotify terms and conditions, and you approve this destination is ready for inclusion in Spotify. You're going to hit save, or you're going to hit submit, whichever button appears for you. Mine's already done, so it's not going to say submit. And that's it. Spotify is actually a relatively fast process. You might be able to see it on your Spotify app within a day, maybe a few days, but I think within a day is usually what the average time is. It's really fast. They actually don't have a human, like individual submission. What's the word I'm looking for? Like there's not a process where a person actually goes through and looks at all the submissions. It's just automated. So anybody can basically submit their show and have it appear sometimes honestly in minutes, but we're going to say at least a day, if not a few days. and you'll have it up on Spotify. Google Podcast is the last one, the other big player in the game. Now, the way Google works, there's not a submission process. So if you have a podcast submitted on a huge, credible host like Libsyn or one of the other ones, they're going to provide enough tech on their side to where you don't have to do anything. Libsyn, same thing, because here's the kicker. Here's the main reason. If you have a website and through Libsyn and your destinations, you have this website this podcast page that they created. All they're looking for is you have artwork, you have a website basically built for the podcast so that Google crawls through the internet and finds podcasts with RSS feeds that meet the requirements, and they just include it in their directory. Now, it's kind of weird to explain, but that's just how it works. Similar to how you create a website or a business page, and then once it's been created and all the things are met, all the criteria is met, then it just pops up on Google. You can Google something and it pops up. Similar kind of idea. And that's it. You are on all three of the major platforms.